This castle, as we see today, was built purposely for slave trading. This castle was built purposely for slave trading. And therefore, many of these buildings were used for slave trading. Now, when a captive arrived here for the first time, he was taken there, up in the room there, up there. We call that the Palaver Hall. That was where meetings were held, where war plans were drawn and peace agreements signed, and also where captives were auctioned. So when a captive arrived here for the first time, come forward. When a captive arrived here for the first time, he was taken there and examined by a doctor to see how strong and healthy he was. So let's say a strong man like you. So a strong man like this may go for about 12 guns, about 4 kegs of gunpowder, 6 bottles of whiskey or schnapps, some second-hand clothes, tobacco, alcohol, and many items in a package. Then the buyer smeared the upper right arm here with palm oil, and he'll be branded with the initials of the merchant, agent, or company. So you may have JSS, John Smith Slave, printed here. So from there, the men were separated from the women and sent into separate dungeons. So now this was how the slaves, the captives who arrived here were bought and disseminated. Now most of the captives who came here were victims of war. Most of them were victims, those who are captured in war. Intertribal wars that were generated produced captives, so most of them were victims of war. Some of them were also kidnapped with the connivance of other black people, were kidnapped. And also most of them were also victims of some tribal cultural practices. For instance, you cannot have sex with a woman in the bush. So if you do that, then you are captured, you forfeit your right to live in a society, and such a person automatically becomes a slave. And therefore, some of such people who became slaves were victims of such laws, right? And so most of them who came here were, let's say about 90% were victims of war, others kidnapping, and then victims of some obnoxious traditional rules and regulations, etc., etc. Now, when they came here in the dungeons, they were held here for about 3 weeks on the average. They slept in the dungeons, they defecated in it, they ate in it, they slept in it, wee in it, and slept in it. Some of them even died in the dungeons. Now, some of them, when they were ready and the ships arrived, they sorted them out to know which belongs to who. And then they marched them through a tunnel that runs underneath this very platform to the door of no return. From there, they were loaded onto boats and taken into the ships. And this was mainly done in the night, so that the residents here would not see what was happening. Now, as they got on the ships, they were chained, separated men from women. The men were below, and the men were up. The women were up, and so they could just access them anytime they wanted. And so, right on the ships, they took them from here to the Americas, the Caribbean, and the West Indies to work on the plantations and the mines.